Oh, we're comparing stats. Baby girl doesn't know that I am Tom Brady at this game. Married at 18, divorced at 21. Second marriage, married at 25, divorced at 28. Third engagement, engaged at 29, ended it at 30, but I kept the ring. I'm still keeping Tom Brady on his toes. We should not be afraid to leave these men. We are not stuck with these people. Marriage is not a sanctimonious thing. It is paperwork. It's something, it's a commitment you make to someone. But if you feel like you're not getting anything from that commitment and you're trying, you gotta go. You gotta go. You have to go. I know it's difficult to fill out paperwork and to make appointments and to do all of these things, but this is your life. Do you want to be stuck with someone? Period. Do you want to be stuck with someone? Oh my God, of course it's not that easy if you have kids, but what do you want to teach your kids? Do you want to teach them to put up with things simply for the betterment of someone else? And at the end of the day, is it for the betterment of your children if you're unhappy? Excuse me? Baby girl, divorce is expensive for everybody, especially if you're the one who has to pay the alimony to the broke bum. What you are saying with this statement is that you personally would sacrifice your independence and your freedom and your peace of mind and your happiness for a little financial stability? At what price? At what cost? To me, that seems way more expensive than, I don't know, a couple $1,000s to break up. What? Like, y'all really gotta stop conditioning yourselves to feel like you can't take care of yourself. You are not at the whims of these men. You can leave and start your own life. You should leave and start your own life if you're not happy with everything. Everything should meet your standards. Otherwise, get the out.
Greetings, you polite savages, and welcome to another Tip Talk. Welcome to the clown world. A world where people will take advice about marriage from a two-time loser, one-time abandoned during an engagement, former porn star who happened to be the most popular porn star in the world at one point, a person who disgraced her culture and was chased and was told by extremists that because she performed in their traditional garb, that this person was marked. Now, I never agree with anybody being marked for anything, especially for a deletion or for being hurt, but probably not going to take advice on marriage from Mia Khalifa. But of course, the ethos of the modern woman says, if it sounds good to me, if it makes me feel good, if it flies against convention and flies against the patriarchy, it must be feminism. It must be right. And y'all gotta be joking.
Man, these ladies ain't joking. Just look at the new Barbie movie, which is pushing its feminist agenda with the modern new age third wave feminism on full blast. And we know that Mia Khalifa is your ultimate cheerleader, where a girl in the spicy prawn business is trying to get away and erase all remnants of her past when it suits her. Even though she's making a lot of money off of her notoriety and fame, that's okay. But when it comes to getting shamed, she is not accountable to her actions. And this is what the modern woman wants. They want to use her as their shield against their shady, spotty past with the multiple guys they've been with. You want to force men to accept you as you are, disregarding all their standards and expectations, and make yourself feel better for your bad decisions and your bad choices. You can't run away from your past. But here's a simple piece of advice, ladies. Maybe think twice before you start opening yourself up for every guy that comes into the picture that you get all hot and bothered for. And maybe you can escape getting the labeled as a, well, you fill in the blank there.
What are the outcomes just possible, because as men, we must think logically. And I wish women would too. So let's say that you're gonna be with somebody and she's a former porn star and you have children. Maybe she's doing only and you have children.
You have your son. Do you ever worry of the, what's going to happen when he's 12 years old, when he's 15, 16? Are they ever going to say, oh, your mom did this and that? You don't worry about that kind of stuff. What would you say to the people who talk like that?
It's such a long time away.
Yeah.
And also, I think if you have a parent has made a lot of bad decisions in their life, it's something that you can look at. You can hear those lessons and be like, okay, I'm not going to make the same mistakes that my mom or dad did.
What are the chances of your children being bullied in the future when they find out what your mom has been doing on the internet? That's there forever. And people will tell you, ex-stars will tell you of that field, that the one thing that they wish it wasn't was that it wasn't there forever. They don't regret the degradation that they went through. They don't regret the denigration. They don't regret the extreme positioning. They don't regret the strangers that they laid down and had relations with. What they regret is that there's physical video evidence that's there for the rest of existence that people are gonna have. You don't believe me? Just Google vintage corn and you're gonna see stuff from the 60s, and those people are great grandmothers right now and someone's embarrassed. You don't believe me? Just look at the Freaknik movie and look at how those women were trying their hardest to stop it. Let me tell you something. People have to start thinking about their image and how they're going to be perceived, even when you're a younger person. You see, we used to have something when I was young, and it was called represent your family when you leave the house. When you left the house, you were a representation of your last name. You were a representation of how you were raised. You were a representation of your neighborhood, of your code. And what do we have now? We have people who do not care. We have the Jezebel spirit, and we have a bunch of simps who will get down on one knee like a man did for this woman and try to marry her. And guess what? You're looking for a man who's strong enough to look past it. But I'm going to tell you, any man who's weak enough, that's right, weak enough to look past your past just to get in your pants is not going to be strong enough for you to respect them. And that's why your relationships fell apart. You are jinxing yourself. You're pre-bullying your children. And you have to, and this is the person that you choose to take advice from about divorce. This is the person who's proud of her divorces, calling herself the Tom Brady of divorces. I mean, I've had a bone to pick with Mia Khalifa for years. I've had a bone to pick with her because she was a little bit too proud about what she was doing. She was a little bit fake remorseful about it when she was crying, but she wasn't crying because she was remorseful about her actions. She was crying because she didn't want to deal with the outcomes.
It looks like Grover had a lot of things to get off his chest. I don't believe a kicking a person when they're down. So let me stomp on some dreams about actions without repercussions. You go and you sleep around, jump on that merry-go-round, be the village bicycle. The past is always gonna come and bite you in the ass. Now, you're gonna have to lower your standards and expectations, ladies, to get the guy that you want, because I'm sorry, most guys are not strong enough, secure in themselves enough, as you say, to accept you as you are. Ladies, if you're going for the full sensual liberation, you are in for a rude awakening. No matter how many times you try, you ain't gonna pray the hoe away. I mean, shoot. I thought you ladies love this ho-ho culture and female empowerment. I mean, for guys like myself, it's awesome. Like Drake said, I'm here for a fun time and a long time with these overly sensualized ladies, and most guys think like I do. DMs are always open, ladies, but for most guys, for the average guy, even for high value guys, and if somehow they convince themselves and lie to themselves that they're able to accept a girl that's been around the block and marry her, hey, more power to them, but he's gonna wake up, ladies, and that mother goddess simp chip, shout out to Dennis Sperling, will short circuit, changing his behavior and changing his tune. What he said he used to accept will now be passively aggressively affecting you and his relationship. You may have found a guy that accepts you for you, but that is a rarity. Imagining running in a train station with the long lines of men you've collected tickets from. Oh, that image is going to be replaying on his mind time and time again.
It's been a little hard for him to reconcile my past, and that has caused some issues in the relationship. We're working through it and trying to communicate. It's really hard. He has never been used to this many eyes and this many voices. It got to him a little bit.
So it's been because of this most recent situation of the back and forth, or has it been kind of building up?
Started around when Rami came out, and I really started feeling comfortable speaking out because people started actually listening to me. I would say the toughest for him is when he posts about me. The backlash is pretty bad, and he has trouble dealing with that. But at the same time, I don't feel supported when he just remains silent on a lot of things. We've been trying to work through some internalized shame that's being projected and figuring out what exactly is the root cause.
I know, we're not strong enough and secure enough to accept an over-essentialized woman to be our girlfriend's fiance and wife. True, but hey, for me personally, there is an exception to the rule where you can maybe stay as my side piece, mistress, F-buddy, my homegirl if I'm into that sort of thing. But as my main squeeze, my forever one and only wife, no. Because ladies, just like you have your expectations and standards, I also have mine. Men have their standards. They have their preferences. And no amount of shame, insults, guilting, needing to be right, assaulting us with lies, will we succumb to the pressure of your whims and desires. To the modern woman, third wave feminists, we don't force you to change and live your life to our ideals. So don't expect us to falter. We will stand 10 toes down, firm in frame, principled in what we believe in, what we accept, and what we will not tolerate.
So I just want you to experiment. Just play this experiment with me. Go to TikTok and put in the search "divorcing a good guy" and look at the sheer amount of videos with women explaining why they are justified in leaving men who have done little to nothing wrong. You'll see a lot of women making up excuses, saying that, oh, he didn't do this or he didn't do that. I clearly communicated that he had to change. I clearly communicated that he had to stop being a man. And when he wouldn't do it, I left him. And these people deserve to be miserable for the rest of their lives.
Ladies are revealing their hand. Little do they know that their actions is helping to deconstruct a nuclear family like it's all going according to plan. Their happiness is paramount and at the expense into building a healthy society and family. They make money off of these dudes with the mother goddess simp chip deeply installed in these simps' brains, gain power and leverage in relationships and into any other potential prospective relationships, forging their way to their own self-destruction, with the collateral damage going to the family structure in our Western society, playing right into the hands to their own demise. And for the guys that can't travel, the passport bros, the passport guys, the passport joes, the passport chains, just passport gentlemen, we will be the ones exploring new cultures and countries where dating standards are drastically different and in our favor, where the foreign women are outclassing Western modern women in more ways than one, from personality, attitude, to submission, cooperation, and even looks. It's a long, lonely road ahead for you, ladies of the West. My piece of advice is start to really work on yourselves. Lower them standards a little bit. Open up. And the ones that have been doing the right thing, finding themselves a man and getting into relationships, I applaud you. But maybe it's now the time for you, the ladies, to start speaking up against these new third wave modern women feminists.
These actions, the action of women who are just eager to divorce, the actions of women who are just eager to leave a man, the actions of women who are eager to say that they don't need a man, they just want a man, so whenever that want changes, you're out, is the reason why there's a 17-week line at the passport office, a reason why flights are booked, a reason why people are out there exploring their options. And guess what? It's not just people going to Southeast Asia. And Austin Hollerman's over there in Africa living it up. I know folks who went to Cuba. I know folks who went to Mexico. I know folks who actually only date women who are not from this country in this country. That's right. There's people who are not even like, you can find non-Western women in the West if you look hard enough. But why would you put yourself through the stress and trouble, the stress and the trouble of looking for them? I mean, at one point, we got to look at it. Like Alpha Male Strategy says, it's not about not doing self-improvement. Now, you got to improve yourself. You got to get in some type of reasonable shape. You got to get your money up. That's just manhood. But you look at an example like Mia Khalifa. Look at an example like the ladies who go to Fresh and Fit. Look at the example of the ladies who go to the whatever podcast. Is there any wonder why brothers getting their passport? Why men are getting their passport? The passport bros, the passport Joes, you know, the passport Reds from Chow Time, and why they out? That's all I got for you, polite savages. Like always, like and subscribe. Thank you for the 10,000 subs. We're going to keep popping. And as always, ask yourself one question. Can you handle the tip? Boom. Booty in your face. We're out.
Thank you for listening to the Tip Network. Follow us on all social medias. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Leave your thoughts down below. Join the TipTube memberships and the Patreon. This is Scotty and Grover. Can you handle the tip? Because we are going all in. Peace.
We found true happiness.